Mr. Obama, I'd like to introduce myself. You called me a bitter American, sir, because I cling to my guns and I cling to my religion. Sir, I'm not a bitter American. I'm a pissed off American, and let me tell you why. This election has come down to the point that we have two choices. You talk a lot about choice. You talk a lot about change. Um, during those debates, I took a few notes. I hope you don't mind because you have these big fancy teleprompters and you have people write your speeches. I didn't have anybody write anything, but I wanted to write a few things down because I didn't want to miss anything. Because there's a lot of problems with this election coming up. There's a lot of problems in this country, and I'm sure everyone knows that. And you and Mr. McCain have talked about it some, but I don't think you've covered all of it. You've missed some things like immigration, and also, you talk about choice. I had to make a choice on who I wanted to vote for. Mr. Obama, you were you were out from the very beginning. People say if I don't vote for you, it's because I'm a racist. No, sir, I'm not a racist. I have a lot of wonderful friends in the black community, and they'll tell you that I judge a man on his heart and not the color of his skin. The reason I do that is I was taught that out of this book. If you had paid attention in Reverend Wright's church to what he was saying and been reading this book, you wouldn't have sat there for 20 years, sir. You would have got up and walked out. Because the hate that Reverend Wright puts out is not Christian. There's no way. And it seems like he wants to continue a bitter relationship and a bitter feud that should have been healed a long time ago. I realize there's discrimination in this country. There's discrimination against every walk of people in this country. If I walked down the streets of New York City, if I didn't get mugged, I'd be discriminated against. And I realize what's happened in the past. It's wrong. But, this book also teaches you to forgive. You have to forgive. But some of the things that Reverend Wright said, I may have to ask for forgiveness, but I can't find it in my heart right now. So, Reverend Wright, I don't say God bless you, sir. I say God damn you. How dare you talk about my country in that way when you could get out and do something as a Christian to make peace, maybe among the people, instead of every Sunday morning sitting there and stirring up hate and discontent among people. On freedom and choice, Mr. Obama, I have 7 children. As they were growing up, they're not all grown, but the older ones, I taught them, I said, with age comes freedom. With freedom comes responsibility. With responsibility comes choices, and with choices comes consequences. If people don't vote the right way in this election, we're going to have some consequences that are going to be with us for a long time. Let me give you an example. Freedom of speech. That's one of the most important things we have. If it wasn't for freedom of speech, probably a bunch of us would be locked up. I hear things talked about the fairness doctrine. That's not freedom of speech. That's controlling what one side says and trying to control what the other side thinks. There's no freedom in that. Freedom also is involved with the Constitution. That's what the Constitution's based on, is freedom. My right to keep that gun. My right to carry this gun. It says the freedom to keep, or the right to keep and bear arms. To keep is to have in your possession. To bear is to have on your possession or to bring out. If someone had been sitting there